Welcome to fly fishing the Grand Canyon. I am currently standing in the Colorado River at the bottom of the Grand Canyon, and I can't think of a more epic location to have a few days of fishing. I'm lucky enough that I'm going to be spending the next week here fishing these waters in a world-class trout fishery for rainbow trout and brown trout. If I have some luck, I think I'm going to do a catch and cook at the bottom of the Grand Canyon in the Colorado River. I'm speechless. This is absolutely amazing. Let's get fishing.
Beautiful little rainbow trout.
Yesterday, I drove up from South Arizona to the north to stay at Lee's Ferry Campground. My plan for the next week is to fish the 24-kilometer stretch north of Lee's Ferry to the Glen Canyon Dam.
So this is day one, fishing on the Colorado River at the bottom of the Grand Canyon. It's the afternoon. Earlier today, I went to a fly shop to get some local flies and some expertise. And it's time to start fishing the rivers.
When I visited the fly shop, I got some great advice. I was told that fishing nymphs under an indicator was probably the best way to go. This is a technique I'd never really done, so I started out with a sandhand worm on top and a weird small midge underneath. When you're fishing an indicator, you cast it upstream and let it drift down with the current, hoping that a fish thinks your little bug imitations look real. I had a rather slow morning with no bites at all, but I was so amazed by the scenery around me that it didn't matter at all. I was just happy to be there.
It's a hot day out and this river is looking beautiful and tempting, so I think I'm gonna get this gear off and go for a swim out there. I gotta go fully in. That is fresh!
We ended up finding this amazing area where the silty waters of the Paria River met the Colorado. The darker water was much warmer compared to the ice-cold Colorado, and we had a ton of fun jumping in the ice bath and then warming up in the silty water. After our swim, the sun was still beating down, and we decided to hide from it for a bit in our hammocks, waiting for it to go behind the cliffside until we could fish again. When we finally got a break from the relentless sun, we got back on the water. This time I had modified my rig slightly, adding a little bit of tungsten split shot to add weight for the flies, just getting them a little bit deeper in this very large river. And on my first cast, it paid off. All of a sudden, I had a beautiful little rainbow trout on the end of my line.
So this is day one, the fourth spot. We just took a break because of the sun and came back once it went behind the cliffs here. And I just got my first ever trout from the Colorado River. Making sure to wet my hands, and we have an absolutely beautiful little rainbow trout. Gorgeous. It's silver and thick, almost like a steelhead.
And that concluded my first day fishing in the Grand Canyon. And what an amazing day it was. We started the next day at the crack of dawn. Both Gareth and I were really excited to get on the water in a jet boat. We decided to drive way upriver with the plan of fishing our way down once we got to the top. Once we got near the top, we stopped and ate breakfast. We were so eager to get on the water, we hadn't consumed anything yet. As soon as breakfast was done, we got to fishing, continuing to use the indicator rigs that we had had some luck on over the last day. This was such an amazing and surreal experience, being able to drive around in a jet boat and fish at the bottom of the Grand Canyon. After a while with no luck, we decided to change spots, heading further downriver towards home in hopes of finding the fish. At this second spot, I knew I was probably doing something wrong. So I tried to focus on my technique and refine the presentation that I was giving. After a while of fishing the second spot, without a fish and not even a bite, we decided it was probably time to change spots. So we headed down to the next riffle that looked promising. After a long first day on the water, having a ton of fun and trying to fish everywhere, we didn't even get a bite. It's hard to explain exactly how awe-inspiring this environment is and how absolutely amazing it is to be here, whether we're catching fish or not. But we pushed the day a little bit too far and ended up having to drive back in the dark. That concludes day 2.
So this is day 3 in the Grand Canyon. Yesterday we rented a boat and got on the river, and we spent a lot of the day just kind of playing, and we got some good fishing in, but didn't end up catching anything yesterday. So today, with what we learned about the river and the good spots that we found yesterday, we're going to go and we're going to have a serious fishing day and hopefully hook into some wild rainbow trout.
Day 2 in the jet boat. We tried to approach the day with a bit more of structure, going to specific holes and refining our techniques to see if we could at least get a bite. We might have still not been getting bites, but we were having a lot of fun. We stayed in this next spot for a good long while because we could actually see the trout right in front of us in the river. We drifted over them over and over again, and this was the closest we got to catching a fish from the boat. I got one bite, and it got off the hook almost immediately. We definitely weren't discouraged, but we were ready for a little bit of a break. So we pulled over to look at these amazing petroglyphs left by the ancient peoples that used to travel these canyons. And that was the end of our jet boat rental. And what an amazing time it was. I don't think it mattered to Gareth or I that we didn't catch a single fish. This was a bucket list item and one of the most amazing things I've done in my whole entire life. But I was back to my work week, and after work every day, I went down to the river, spent a couple hours trying to refine my technique and learn how to catch fish in this river. And luckily, I did manage to get a few in. They might not have been the biggest fish, but it felt like such a victory just to have something in my net.
He ate the same one again.
On our second last day, both Gareth and I were ready for a little bit of break from fishing. So we hopped in his car and headed out to hike an old riverbed that led down to the Colorado River. This hike was something special, and yet another awe-inspiring environment that the Grand Canyon offers. After a couple hours of hiking, we found where the dry riverbed led to the Colorado River and our own little slice of paradise. So we took a swim and hiked back out, preparing ourselves for our last day. When I got here, the first day, I set myself a goal, and it had been lingering in the back of my mind. I wanted to catch a big enough trout that I could do a catch and cook in the Grand Canyon. So I knew my final day, I had to be focused. So 100% of my effort went into fishing. I focused on all of the things I had learned, making sure my mending was perfect, the depth of the indicator was right, and the weighting on the flies was correct, in hopes that I would have luck. And all of a sudden, there it was. Possibly my only chance. A much larger trout than I had seen, jumping on the end of my line.
Yoo! Well, that's a better fish. Let's get the net ready. That is going to be the biggest one of the trip if I can get it in. I really want to get it out of the current here, not tangled in my own line. He is strong. That is definitely biggest of the trip. Let's see if we can get it in the net. Get his head out of the water, and he's in! Let's go! Woo! Yahoo! Look at that beautiful trout. I don't even know if the hook is still in him. These flies are so tiny. Yeah, he ate the same fly that's been the popular fly here. Alright, so we have him free. And this guy's actually going to be my dinner tonight. So, do a little camera close-up of this beautiful fish. So, fishing in the Grand Canyon. I've actually never had a fishing trip that has challenged me so hard and humbled me. It showed me that I know so little about one of my passions, and I have so much room to learn. And over the last 7 days, I've focused pretty much completely on learning how to do what I needed to do in order to catch fish in this river. And after all of my effort, I've learned so much. And on my final night here, the Grand Canyon has given me a meal. And for the final day, I'm gonna be eating fish for dinner, and a beautiful rainbow trout at that. I hope you guys enjoyed the journey. Let's go cook this fish. It's hard to describe what I was feeling in this moment. When you approach a challenge and dedicate yourself to it, it is so rewarding to succeed, especially when it's your final chance. I was very ready to have a couple drinks and enjoy this beautiful rainbow trout for dinner. While I got the fire going, Gareth worked on prepping some potatoes. We wrapped them in foil and tucked them next to the coals to let them cook. We're gonna have to rotate. That's beautiful.
All right, it is time to prep the fish. So I have it cleaned here, just the whole fish. It's pretty gorgeous. And I'm gonna pack it with lemon. And then we're gonna put a couple sticks of butter on it. And this is gonna go straight on the fire.
I got the fish on the grill, and then soon enough, it was time to pull it and enjoy dinner, concluding the end of my Grand Canyon trip.
Thank you guys for watching my video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and what an amazing experience that was. For those of you that don't know, I'm traveling North America in a school bus, and my journey has just begun. So I'm going to be continuing to make videos like this and sharing my adventures with you. I hope you enjoyed, and consider subscribing if you want to see more of my adventures. Thanks.